This morning on the Sunrise Early News, Tuesday the 17th of September, breaking news, a neighbourhood business firebombed and residents evacuated in Melbourne's north, the hunt for an arsonist. The gunman charged after the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. See the dramatic body cam video of the arrest. Greedy Sydney Council's banned from issuing sneaky ticketless parking fines, a win for drivers and common sense. And frost alert, millions set to shiver as temperatures fall. How cold will it be where you are this morning?
Live across Australia, this is Sunrise Early News.
Good morning. We go first to breaking news. Melbourne police are hunting for an arsonist after a firebombing attack on a barber shop in the city's north overnight. Fire crews were called to the blaze in Lalor just before 1 o'clock this morning. It's understood a vehicle was driven into a store and then set on fire. No one was inside at the time, with nearby residents evacuated for safety. The man accused of attempting to assassinate Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump has appeared in a West Palm Beach court this morning. We cross live to US Bureau Chief David Woiwod, who's in Los Angeles. Morning to you, Dave. Now, quite a lot of detail came out in this court case. The man has been convicted before, we understand, for possessing weapons of mass destruction.
Yes, that's right. Good morning, Mon. We're getting a much clearer picture of the criminal history of this alleged gunman here. Ryan Wesley Routh, he is 58 years old. As he appeared in this courthouse, as you say, in West Palm Beach today, he is facing those two fresh charges. Now, they are possessing a firearm as a felon and possessing a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Now, Routh, he was dressed in a blue jumpsuit. He was shackled in that courthouse today. Today's hearing, it has only lasted just a few moments, and his formal arraignment will actually take place in the next couple of weeks. Investigators, though, are now claiming that Routh had waited on the perimeter line of Donald Trump's golf club for some 12 hours, lying in wait there. Now, they have determined that by actually triangulating and collating mobile phone data in the region. Of course, he was supported by that high-powered weapon, food, backpacks, and a camera as well. We're also getting a much better picture of that moment of arrest, as you can see from these images here. This is police body camera footage. It shows Routh submitting to those officers as he was taken into custody. Look, Routh, he has a son, he has no money, he is being represented by legal aid. We know that most recently he had been trying to help foreign fighters actually enlist in the war in Ukraine. We know that from media interviews he's done and things that he has posted online as well. And of course, as you could well imagine, this is all now just fueling those online conspiracies on both sides of the political divide, very similar to what we saw in those hours after that assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania 2 months ago.
Yes, it's going rife, isn't it? Now, President Biden has spoken publicly about this morning. What did he have to say?
He has. Well, first off the top, he has given his well wishes to his political rival here, Donald Trump. He has again slammed political violence in the United States, but he has again put the spotlight very firmly on the US Secret Service here and the resources that they need. This was the US President Joe Biden speaking moments ago.
Thank God the president's okay. The one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they, in fact, need more services.
Joe Biden appearing to really handball that now over to the US Congress. We'll have to see if they now respond. And we know that the acting head of the US Secret Service today will be meeting with the former US President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate, Mon.
All right, David Woiwod for us there in the US. Thanks very much. 3 Victorian teens have been arrested on the Gold Coast holding 10 sets of car keys. It follows a wild crime spree spanning almost 2,000 kilometres. They're accused of kicking and holding a butcher's knife to a Carringdale grandmother before stealing her BMW.
He showed me knife, yeah. And I don't want to give him a car, but they showed me knife.
One of the teenagers is 14 years old. A driver who allegedly killed 5 people in a horror crash in Daylesford, Victoria, has been accused of ignoring medical warnings. A court has heard that 67-year-old William Herbert Swale suffered a diabetic episode in the lead-up to the tragedy. Mr Swale is accused of driving into the dining area of the Royal Daylesford Hotel in November last year. His lawyer told the court that there is a very large issue about whether the crash was a conscious and voluntary act. The front yard of a home in Sydney's Inner West is worse for wear this morning after a Mitsubishi SUV carrying 4 people crashed into a fence in Lewisham. The driver lost control along the New Canterbury Road overnight, damaging a gas line. A female occupant has been assessed by paramedics and has minor injuries. Police say that they will continue to investigate who was behind the wheel. Hero witnesses have pulled off a daring citizen's arrest in Melbourne's northeast, pinning a gunman to the ground after a road rage attack in Doncaster. Police say that the driver crashed into an elderly woman before attempting to carjack her vehicle. The incident causing a nearby primary school into lockdown when the driver allegedly fired a shot from a revolver. The 32-year-old is now in police custody. A review of the 2013 Daniel Andrews car crash has reportedly found that Victorian police engaged in an overt cover-up to avoid implicating a political figure in a life-threatening incident. The review by a former police assistant commissioner says that the former Victorian Premier's family SUV was travelling at speed on the wrong side of the road when it struck a cyclist, Ryan Mullen. Daniel Andrews and his wife Catherine have always said that they came to a complete stop just moments before being T-boned by that bike. Australian Federal Police have foiled an alleged plot to bring more than $400 million worth of liquid meth into Queensland, hidden in bottles of juice. The joint operation with Canadian officers saw that the drugs swapped out while the shipment was in transit from Brazil to Brisbane. A group of Queensland men aged 30, 35 and 43 were arrested at a rural property in Jimbooma and a Browns Plain shopping centre. Police say that the shipment would have created enough methamphetamine for 4 million street deals. Sydney councils will be banned from issuing ticketless parking fines, with the state government stepping in to save frustrated drivers. Councils raked in more than $1.5 million in fines last year. The number of ticketless fines issued has risen recently. That is despite the Minns government ordering councils to stop the practice. New laws are expected to be introduced this month. Troubled former TV star Andrew O'Keefe has spent the night behind bars following an ugly exchange with a Sydney cameraman.
How are you? How are you? Chasing is not a good idea. Big weekend, mate? As the other fella. You're degenerate, mate. You're a degenerate. That's what you are. You're a degenerate, man. Huh? Right? Huh? Right? Keep it nice. We'll keep it nice. Right? If you want to be a bunny.
When O'Keefe returned to the police station, he was arrested, accused of breaching his bail. It followed news that O'Keefe had been revived by a paramedic in the early hours of Saturday morning after an apparent drug overdose. Millions of Australians are set to shiver again this morning with another icy morning forecast across the eastern states. The cold snap is lashing the country after we began spring with unusually warm weather. New South Wales, Victoria and southeast Queensland will feel the freeze, with the weather warming up later this afternoon. Well, Aussie star Elizabeth Debicki has been crowned Best Supporting Actress at the Emmy Awards for her role as Princess Diana. The King of Cool also made a comeback as Hollywood celebrated some of the legends of the past.
Father and son hosts reigning over TV royalty.
We've all done salacious tell-alls with the BBC to get back at a lying, cheating ex, like Elizabeth Debicki in The Crown.
But the Aussie had the last laugh, taking home her first ever Emmy for her portrayal of Princess Diana in The Crown.
Playing this part based on this unparalleled, incredible human being has been my great privilege. It has been a gift. Thank you so very much.
But the night belonged to
Shogun.
The Japanese period piece cleaned up, setting a new record, 18 Emmys for one season.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Baby Reindeer, the popular and controversial runaway hit with 6 gongs for the night.
Follow your heart and the rest will fall into place.
The Bear and Emmy's Beast, 11 awards.
Thank you so much. My heart is just beating right out of his chest.
The Emmys is all about celebrating the big hits of today, but tonight's show features a bit of nostalgia with a look back on some fan favourites. Ron Howard and Henry Winkler reuniting to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Happy Days and a quarter-century anniversary for political drama The West Wing.
Unlike today, where storylines can be plucked right off the news, storylines that writers would have deemed a bit far-fetched, if not utterly ridiculous 25 years ago.
Like a girl from Melbourne, the daughter of ballet dancers, bringing a princess back to life. In Hollywood, Miley Hogan, 7 News.
Well, coming up on Sunrise this morning, the alarming reason that Australian businesses are taking aim at the Prime Minister and tributes for Michael Jackson's brother Tito. The Jackson 5-star dies at the age of 70. Welcome back. Some of the nation's biggest leaders in business are warning that Australia is losing its way, laying blame on the Prime Minister. Let's go live to political reporter Ben Downey, who's in Canberra. Ben, morning. So they say that Australian businesses are going backwards. What's this all about?
Mon, the chief lobby group for Australia's biggest employers is rallying against the government's reforms that favour employees, signalling out the same job, same pay laws that mean a worker is paid the same, whether they're a contractor or full-time employee, as a step backwards for the country. The Business Council of Australia, who represents the big four banks, Kmart, Bunnings, BHP, Qantas and more, warns bosses are more cautious of hiring because red tape, like multi-employer bargaining, drives investors offshore, saying that labour reform needs to go. The coalition doesn't escape a spray either. The employer lobby calls out the Nationals-led push to divest from major supermarkets. Australian businesses are defaulting at record high rates, at least for the past couple of years, though. Analysts, however, they're blaming high interest rates and inflation, not workplace laws. Mon.
All right, Ben, thank you. Ben Downey for us in Canberra. At least 14 people are dead after flooding devastated the Czech Republic, with the death toll expected to rise. The Polish government has declared a state of disaster, with thousands of people evacuated from their homes in the worst flooding seen there in nearly 3 decades. Torrential rain has swamped parts of Austria, the Czech Republic, Poland and Romania. A major court battle is unfolding in the US today, involving one of the world's most powerful media families. The Murdoch family has become embroiled in a fight over the empire's succession. Rupert Murdoch wants to change the structure of his family trust to give all voting power to his eldest son, Lachlan. This would leave his other adult children without any voting power. They're in court to sort out the family feud. And Michael Jackson's brother, Tito, has died of a suspected heart attack. The star was a guitarist, singer and dancer. He's best known as being part of the Jackson 5. Tito was 70 years old. And checking finance news now, the Dow Jones is up 224 points, the Nasdaq down 99. In London, the FT 100 added 5 points. Germany's DAX has closed in the red. Closer to home, Japan's Nikkei closed 251 points down. Hong Kong's Hang Seng closed up 53. The All Ords has gained 17 points and the ASX 200 closed up 21 points. On the commodities market, gold is trading at $72 an ounce, oil $2,581 a barrel. The Aussie dollar is buying 67 US cents, 94 Japanese yen and $1.08 New Zealand. Pampered Russian poochers and their owners have strutted the dog walk, rocking fancy costumes, taking part in Russia's largest pet event, as you do. Participants are selected in advance from hundreds of applications, with the dogs competing in a range of agility exercises along with their dog walk strutting style. Costumes are judged by a professional jury from a local clothing brand who look for the fine quality of their owners' handiwork skills. Excellent. Well, coming up on Sunrise this morning, discount chemists put to the test the best bang for your buck for cold and flu medicine. And see a cheeky koala's surprise visit to the hospital. The heartbroken family of a 69-year-old man who died waiting 4 hours for an ambulance has slammed the response from the Allen government. They're demanding urgent action before someone else falls victim to the state's health crisis.
they can't bring him back, I understand that. But put things in place so this doesn't happen to other families.
The ambulance union says a code orange should have been declared. Well, despite the warmer weather, visits to the pharmacy are still frequent for cold and flu medication. But are the discount chemists any cheaper than Coles or Woolworths? We compared everyday items with those also selling online to see who offered the best deal.
From cut-price chemists to supermarket shelves, the options are endless for over-the-counter medication.
I usually head to Chemist Warehouse because there's usually a sale on what I need.
We did a price check at Chemist Warehouse and Priceline Pharmacy, major supermarkets Coles and Woolworths, as well as eBay. On our shopping list, vitamin C, a probiotic, Panadol and cold and flu.
People are struggling to afford their medicines. We regularly hear of people who are rationing medicines.
For 300 Synovus tablets, the price difference ranged from $18.50 at Woolworths down to $7.25 on special at Coles. eBay also under $10 and free postage. 40 probiotic tablets were $14 cheaper on eBay compared to the major supermarkets. Chemist Warehouse and Priceline only offered a pack of 60. For Panadol Rapid, prices were pretty consistent, only $1 difference between all 5. The cost of a 20-pack of cold and flu was slashed by Woolies and Coles. At the pharmacies, it cost more for more tablets. eBay, the dearest. When you search for Codral, the first results are pharmacy brands, which are much cheaper, $9 and free postage. But can you trust it?
Safety is really important when we talk about people buying their medicine.
Any over-the-counter product that's regulated by the Therapeutic Goods Administration will have an identification number on the packaging. If it doesn't, the TGA says there are no guarantees about its safety.
You can go to the TGA's website and you can look up the things that you're thinking of buying and check that that brand and that that item, whatever it happens to be, is indeed a safe product for you to use.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Now have a look at this. A koala has wandered out of the bush and into an emergency department in northern New South Wales. Locals whipped out their phones to capture the creature, a little confused after strolling into the Gunnedah Hospital and ending up with a bit of a battle with the automatic doors. Before staff could call in a wildlife rescue team, the koala decided it had seen enough. The person he was there to see had been discharged and off he went on his way. Stay with us. Sport is next on Sunrise News, including Tom Hawkins racing to play in Geelong's AFL Premiership push, plus Josh Addo-Carr summons by the NRL over that drug scandal, and a closer look at how the weather is shaping up in your part of the country. Well, to sport now, and Tom Stewart is set to return from a hamstring injury for Geelong's preliminary final against Brisbane on Saturday. Champion forward Tom Hawkins is battling to get back his spot before retiring at the end of the season.
He could just sail off, and he's had an amazing career, but he's given himself every chance, and that's all you can ask for from a great teammate.
The 35-year-old hasn't played since injuring his foot in June. The Swans are yet to make a call on who will replace skipper Callum Mills for Friday's prelim against Port Adelaide. After missing Collingwood's premiership last year, Taylor Adams is an option.
Is it a like-for-like type? We know we can't replace his leadership ability. He's very good in that space, but we've got some options there that we're looking at the moment. Nothing's locked in.
Port haven't lost to the Swans since 2016 and battered Sydney by 112 points the last time that they played. Josh Addo-Carr will front the NRL Integrity Unit over his roadside drug test saga as he fights to save his career at the Bulldogs. The 29-year-old missed their elimination final loss to Manly after 2 swabs came back positive to cocaine. Canterbury General Manager Phil Gould refuses to say whether the winger's time is up.
We'll do what we think is in the best long-term interest of the club. It's as simple as that. And all the players understand that. Club first, team second, individual third, and that's what we'll do.
Addo-Carr still denies taking the drug. The Roosters are banking on chief enforcer Jared Warrera-Hargraves to inspire them when he returns from suspension in Saturday's do-or-die semi-final with the Sea Eagles.
He's probably disappointed that he stepped over it a couple times and been suspended and hurt the team, but it's coming from a good place from him. Like we need that intimidation factor.
Manly winger Jason Saab is a chance to make his return from an ankle injury. Well, he hasn't played a first-class game, but 19-year-old Quick Marlai Beardman could be in line to make his Australian debut. The West Australian has been called up after injuries struck the one-day squad's fast bowling ranks ahead of Thursday's series opener against England. Beardman was man of the match in Australia's Under-19 World Cup final win.
Just incredible, so unexpected. I'm just going to try and be as much of a sponge as possible and learn off those boys. They've been doing it so well for so long now.
Beardman's played just 150 over game for Western Australia. And let's take a look at the weather around the country now. Brisbane will be mostly sunny with a top of 24. Sydney sunny with a top of 22. Canberra morning frost and sunny 19. Melbourne partly cloudy and 17. Hobart cloudy 14. Adelaide early cool morning